And I'm wondering about, public bidding requirements and things like that, because if a contractor is going to, do a project that ultimately altogether adds up to over a certain amount of money for the town, it has to be publicly bid and all that type of thing. So if you were to, for example, have a contractor that, was going to make more than $20,000 doing something like for the town, which is hard to imagine, but it might be possible, then you'd have public bidding requirements involved too.
I think there's a kid on my street. That was a truck.
I don't think the real issue
Jody, however, just bid mowing for the cemeteries, as she just brought to my attention, and maybe that's something.
For mowing. So
I know, but that's a specific area.
But maybe they could give, if something was drafted up, they could give a quote if they're interested on going in, because you already went through the process, and I think we had 11 or 12 bidders on a mowing type of contract. I don't know if it helps, but.
Well, yeah, because you could have, if you open up that thing, you could also almost have like a retainer type thing, and they're going to take the chance if it's 5 property or 10 property, you know what I mean? So that's an idea.
But I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is when Wayne gets the phone call, how can you speed the process up from that point to when he sends them to the property?
Yeah.
That's what's slow.
Yeah. Well,
The investigation? I'm sorry.
You go out there and the grass is over 10 inches, you want to be able to just call up this person and say, get over here and mow it.
Well, I mean,
right?
if just for instance, if you had a problem or if I had a problem and I was away from my property for 2 weeks and the grass grew 10 inches or was unsightly, I wouldn't want people going in and just mowing my lawn. I mean, you've got to notify the person, and it takes time it doesn't take time to prepare the letter, send the letter. It takes time to give ample time for them to reply or not reply, the letter to come back that it was undeliverable.
Yeah,
that's what slows the process down. And I mean, I've even had neighbors, ask if they can go in and mow it, and we can't advocate anybody going in and trespassing.
Plus, it's not only the grass issue, you have securing pools and that type of thing to make them safe.
Yeah.
Normally, they could draw out to almost 2 months.
It could.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last year we did it with a couple of parcels, if you remember. We went out and looked at them. And, I mean, it probably did take a month at least.
That's a minimum.
Yeah.
Sharon, do you have a
I
comment?
just have a quick comment. One thing we need to think about too is if we're going to add those costs to someone's property, that money is not going to happen until January of the following year. So you're going to have money.
And assuming they pay their
And
taxes.
if they don't, and the bank pays it, that's one thing. But if they don't, it's just going to stay out there, and we're never going to get that money back.
Right. As we probably and all that, and it's going to be years before we even see it. So we're going to be, laying the money out front, which could add quite a bit.
Well, even now, that's an issue, that whatever has to be done now. I mean, we can make the resolution, I think that's a good idea. And it may, be the next year to charge it back to the property, but still, we're still in the same boat of how long does it take?
I think the bottom line is that even if you put something together that expedites the process as much as it can, it's probably still not going to be quick enough for everybody's liking.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
I would just, I don't know if other local municipalities have something on the books to say if it reaches a certain level, the grass or whatever, that the town has the authority to go in and just.
Oh, and that's something that Wayne and I have looked into in the past, and I think we'll, get something drafted up again for you to review to see if we can.
Property maintenance.
Yeah.
A property maintenance, it gives the town, by us passing, it gives a more accelerated authority, so you don't have to go through all these various steps of notification,
Well,
but we can just say you're in violation, this is what's going to happen.
Well, and it sets forth the procedure and legitimization to, eventually putting something on somebody's tax bill.
Exactly. Okay. So we'll have a report on that at the next meeting, perhaps?
I won't be at your next meeting, but you'll have something.
All right.
Make a motion, we enter into executive session to discuss litigation in the matter of New Dimensions versus the town of Cicero, and invite the attorneys, the attorney, assessor, controller, into the executive session will be reconvened. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Ms. Tardecki?
Yes.
Mr. Cora?
Yes.
Mr. Jazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Supervisor, do you want to get the students first before you go into the executive session?
I hope we're not having that long.
All right.
I will